It's on! Happy Monday, everyone. Here's the best part of your Monday, Disney Parks Talk Live, coming to you live from Northern California, Southern California, and Indiana. My name is Dewey Mosley. I am the co-founder here at Laughing Place. Over there is my wife, Rebecca. How you doing today, Rebecca?
I'm doing well.
Down below me is our Southern California correspondent, Michael Celestino. How you doing, Mike?
My teeth are clean. I'm ready to go.
And down there in the lower left, we have Mr. Jones himself. How you doing, Indy?
I'm not doing anything. I'm doing good, Doobie. How about yourself?
I'm so disappointed. We're going to talk about what's going on in the world of Disney theme parks and otherwise. Thank you very much to our sponsor, Mouse Fan Travel, our recommended travel agency for all your Disney travel needs. Let's get started. Jeremiah, is that a 30-year-old hat?
It is a 30-year-old hat. This was given out on it. And so we've been having some debate on the official opening date. So I went and got the sports almanac.
Breaking news.
What do you got?
I pulled up from the Parkendium website an old press kit that I actually have in my files over here too. And look, February, what you're about to say, Jeremiah, it's got confirmation here too. In February, the biggest attraction ever created for a Disney theme park, the Indiana Jones adventure, was unveiled during a star-studded opening gala.
Yes, February 28th was the media event, no matter what the Disney Parks video shows, because all of that happened on February 28th. And then March 3rd, according to the Sports Almanac, is the opening day, even though that is open for debate among most of us. And this was given out to those stars. Like, I don't think it's in this, but if you watch the whole thing that was on KCAL 9, you can see these hats given out in the background. And yes, I'm that much of a nerd.
Now I'm going to bring up a point of debate. I'm going to have to dive into this deeper because it says it was unveiled during a star-studded opening gala. It makes me wonder, was it like open on that day, or was it just like, here, come wander it like Doobie did? Did you go to that pass holder thing too, where you could just walk the queue and turn around and leave and you didn't even get to ride the thing?
Yes, I waited all the way down Main Street for that. No,
I did not, by the way.
The day that they gave out the 40 Years of Adventure cards, they gave those out every day. And on the opening day of Indiana Jones, they gave out the 41st card, which was the Indy card for 1995. I couldn't find my card when I went looking for it, but
did you go 40 days? Did you go 40 days in a row to get the 40 cards?
So this was pre-internet. I had an annual pass and knew nothing about these cards until a week in. But everybody that is in Southern California, and I call these the cards of stupidity because they warped my mind. So I lived in Lancaster. I worked at Universal Studios. Okay. So Lancaster is way over here. Universal Studios here. So I would drive into work at Universal, and then I would drive to Disneyland to get the card. Or I'd drive into Disneyland to get the card and go to Universal to work.
Wow.
That's so I have
all of them?
I did not, because it was the week and a half later and they started really cracking down on the trading because people were selling the cards. And the Easter card, when I was driving down to the parks, it was backed up onto the 5 to even get off to park. And this was the old days where you could park in the AP parking right up in the front and run in.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Nope. Could not. And then years and years later on the eBay, when Disney did their Disney auctions, I ended up getting one for like $12, the entire set. As of today, I believe I have 4 full sets, plus the cards that I originally had. I was able to secure one set with the matching Indiana Jones card because those were the lower hundreds and they were only given out to executives. And somebody put one of those up on eBay. And then I also have, that I've never even taken out of the poster tube, a sheet of the cards uncut, 1 through 40, but not the 41st card. Because the 41st card had a special foil stamp on it. you don't want to go into any more of this with me.
How do
This
you?
is
I'm just curious. How do you know that you actually have that sheet if you've never taken it out of the tube?
well, I could go get it and take it out and do an
You're gonna
untubing.
and just have like a sheet of nothing.
For those of you youngins who are watching, believe it or not, it used to be so convenient to park at Disneyland that people would actually stop, go to Main Street, get their coffee on the way to work.
I have dreams about that parking sometimes, like literally. It was so nice, the preferred parking. And we got it for $199 plus discounts on all food and merchandise.
I
No
would
blackout days. What's a blackout day? No,
I would go to Adventureland to get my card, and then I'd go up to the gallery and look down at Jungle Cruise, and look out the window of the gallery to see the Jungle Cruise construction.
Mike, do you remember how much annual pass was when you first got one?
I think I had a $99 one, but it wasn't it wasn't every day.
Okay, so you go all the way back. You go all the way back too. All right. Anyway, we're discussing this because it is, depending on how you count, the 30th.
Take me off the camera for a second, Dewey. I'll be right back.
Okay, 30th anniversary of the opening of Indiana Jones Adventure, which many people still consider the greatest theme park attraction of all time. 30 years later, although maybe Epic Universe will change that for some people. Anyway, let's get going with
my
something.
Boss. No, wait, before we go, I gotta share.
We can't. We need Jeremiah, so go ahead.
I worked in Azusa, which is what, like a 35-minute drive northeast of Anaheim.
I would say
and my boss was an annual pass holder who was obsessed with Indiana Jones. I actually worked for a cassette duplication company as a receptionist, but my boss was also, I know exactly, but my boss was also a Disney fan, and he was obsessed with Indiana Jones. And every once in a while during the work, he would be like, you know what, we need to go do some research, because he was trying to recreate it at his house. And so he'd just be like, half day work, and we'd hop in a van and drive down to Disneyland and go to Indiana Jones so that he could do research to recreate it in his house.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
all right.
No, that's actually, I think that's how I got the job. Was I was a passionate Disney fan who knew what a Bengal freeze was. So yeah, which they don't exist anymore, and they were better than a Dole Whip. I'm so sorry to all of you Dole Whip fans, but you know.
So Jeremiah has thrown an interesting wrench in today's schedule. So Mike, I hope you're ready, because we're skipping to the Disneyland Resort Food and Wine Festival, which I know you did not get to go to yourself, but you've been many times before. So why don't you tell us?
And I edited a video all about it this weekend.
Oh, fantastic!
Oh, that was your edit? Okay, I thought Eric did a really good job actually on camera there. What'd you think? This is probably not the point to ask you that. What am I doing? Okay.
No, I thought it turned out really well. No, Eric did a great job. Yeah.
But I didn't know you did the editing. I think you did an excellent job of the editing too, because honestly, this turned out really good. Anyway.
And for those of you who don't know what they're talking about, each week on Sunday mornings, we have On Location with Laughing Place. And this week, our very own Eric, whose last name has skipped my mind at the moment. What? Goldman was at Food and Wine Festival. Tell us all about the Food and Wine Festival, Mr. Celestino.
There's food, there's wine. Soarin' over California is back.
Woohoo!
There's entertainment, shows both daytime and nighttime. You can get a sip and savor pass for either 4 or 8 items this time around. There's a bunch of different food kiosks, which we talk about all of them in the video. Yeah. And Eric got to try a number of the food menu items there. He also got to meet Ratatouille, Remy himself.
Ah, you did it again.
Sorry, not Ratatouille. Goofy's out in his chef costume. There's demonstrations where you can learn how to make some of this food. There were musical performances. I mentioned that already. That's pretty much it. But yeah, it's a whole big seasonal event.
I want to try the bourbon and pickle drink. Oh, what did Jeremiah pull out of the? We'll wait. Well, let's wait till we finish up talking about food and wine. Then we'll move on to you.
Yeah. By the way, it started on Friday, so February 28th. It goes through April 21st. So, and one thing I liked about Eric doing it, no offense intended to any of our people around here with food issues, including myself, the vegetarian, but we got to actually watch Eric eat.
The ingredients before I ordered it. It's got jalapeno mayo. I'm not big on jalapeno. Also, I think it is even messier. So I'm definitely going for the messiest things I can possibly eat on camera, which is always very attractive. But let's give this a shot.
Nice.
Great reaction.
It's okay.
Didn't like it. That's good. But I love having eating on camera. So nice job, Eric. And like I said, runs through April 21st. Also want to mention that Downtown Disney's Parkside Market, which is the newest thing to open in Downtown Disney, they have some special offerings for food and wine as well. I don't know if any place else in Downtown Disney is doing it. I believe there are multiple places, but I do know that Disney made note that Parkside Market, since it's brand new, is celebrating as well. So go check that out. All right, what you got, Jeremiah?
Okay, so this is really an unboxing because I purchased this many years ago and have not had the heart to open it. So
What? You're opening it live on camera? Wow.
I am.
You wouldn't even do that with a Funko.
I know.
So, oh wow,
Whoa.
this is really cool.
How old is this, Jeremiah?
This is 30 years.
I mean, how long have you owned it?
Probably 3-4 years. I bought it during the pandemic. So yes, this is all the cards that represented each year up to 1994. There it is. And you can even see it's numbered in the corner. And it is double-sided.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so these were the cards that you could only get if you went down to the parks and got them each day. So, and each year represented something. So 1974 was the year that America Sings opened, 75, Mission to Mars, and it goes through everything, including some things that are just silly, like the Disney Afternoon, and then Splash Mountain 1989, not silly.
This is what not the nice numbered version, but Gideon has this poster on as well, doesn't he? Or does he have a different one?
Does he have the ones that they had in the shops?
Well, because Rebecca, whenever we ask for a year of something, he always knows it based on some poster that he has on his wall. Like, what happened in 1987? Oh, I know that's Star Tours because on my wall it says Star Tours. And I think it's this. I'm just not 100% sure. All right. Anything else you want to show us, Jeremiah?
No, there we go. I'm done. Oh, although I do want to give a shout out to Eric. As we were saying, he eats stuff. If you happen to be watching Daredevil Born Again tomorrow night on Disney Plus, and you want an excellent recap of it, if you head over to IGN.com or to YouTube and go to IGN, there is an amazing recap of all Daredevil plus some of the Punisher stuff that was written by Eric Goldberg.
Oh, wow.
Goldman,
thank you, not Goldberg. He's an animator. Yeah, I happened to watch it last night because I had questions, and I sent him a message like, "Is this you?" And he goes, "Yeah, I didn't even know they put that up."
Oh, he's moonlighting.
our longtime friend Jason Schultz, who's also an archivist by trade, is sharing over on Blue Sky some of the assets that he has digitized in relation to the history of Indiana Jones Adventure. So I suggest you pop on over there if you want to see a little bit of the history. He pulled up an old ad from back 1995 when it was opens today. So there you go.
I'm trying to decide whether that tagline is true, because it is not more than a ride, but it is real.
So
it is a real ride.
I'd forgotten that part of kind of the lore in the moment was that they had transported this temple brick by brick.
Yes.
To Disneyland.
Which they dropped that entire storyline.
I've never even heard that.
I totally forgot. If you watched the old Dateline Disney from 95 and Michael Eisner comes out and talks about will you dare to enter the temple? We brought it back, we brought it
Yeah.
brick by brick, kind of
I
thing.
know
And
what you
I'd
mean.
totally forgotten that structure.
I just assumed they were digging, and it's been there all the time.
do feel like-
D23. Go on, Mike.
I feel like Disney can't decide sometimes whether things were already there or whether they brought them there.
Well,
How about this question, Mike? It says you ride the fine line between fright and fun.
I would say that's about right.
Yeah.
those rat projections used to be
Yeah.
really scary.
What were you gonna say,
Uh,
Jeremiah?
So D23 did their first spotlight series at Disneyland for the Indiana Jones adventure. They actually did it down at the D23 campus, and the attendees went and got to walk Imagineering. And I'm so jealous I didn't get a chance to go out to do this. But one of the things that was talked about, my friends tell me, is how Susan Bonds, who was one of the lead Imagineers for it, talked about how the big thing about no ride will be the same, and there are so many different things. And she goes, yeah, we were the only people that cared about that, as it turned out. It's like, yeah, they invested so much money in the programming, and now it's like nobody cared.
By the way, forgive the dust, but yes, Doobie, you're right. See?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's the promotion that they had. I want to say in Lucky's,
Thrifty or Thrifty
Thrifties,
Drug.
yeah, and
Yeah.
it was one of those.
Yeah, no, we have all four, so I framed them, and our son has them on his wall. I keep
Okay.
joking that I need to continue it myself. Nowadays with the way you can go to like Walgreens and just make your own posters, like take the template and continue it, and so he'd have the full.
Well, remember they did those for a few years because they did the light parade going away card that they sent us as annual pass holders. I want to say the electric light parade, and it made it maybe to New Tomorrowland. I don't remember a light magic card.
So you're watching Dig a Little Deeper as we celebrate the 30th anniversary of the Indiana Jones adventure.
Moving right along.
All right, let us get back to the present. And although it was 6 days ago that the virtual queue said goodbye, perhaps forever, we don't know, but certainly for now at Walt Disney World. And Jeremiah was there. I will just scroll through a little bit while Jeremiah talks about what it was like without virtual queues. What would you see?
It was pretty boring. So I was at Magic Kingdom and Luke was at Epcot. And I think I got the shorter end of the stick because I did not have the excitement of all of this. And Luke also didn't end up being soaking wet at some point. I was over at Magic Kingdom. There was Tiana's Bayou Adventure doesn't early entry. So there were guests at both Liberty Square and the Adventureland gate, as you can see here, waiting to go in. Oh, this is the actual queue. So as I'm walking through Liberty Square, I see the masses going over the bridge. And then they got to this point and they said, just kidding, we're not open yet. So there's a long string of my tweets talking about how people are just staying in the queue. And then it opened at 9:35. And by 9:55, I want to say the entire queue had already been pulled inside the building. This was a cold morning, so it wasn't like everybody's rushing there. But in the past 7 days, both Tiana's and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind have been holding. I want to say the average is like 70 to 80 minutes. What is it right now? 95?
95 with Elsa at 50.
That's a high, isn't it? But yeah, it's the queues haven't been horrendous.
Nope.
There's me. They put me in the front row to go on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I wrote it and did it.
Tiana's sitting at 35.
Yeah.
There you
So
go.
not bad at all. No more virtual queue. And if Tony has its way, there will never again be a virtual queue at a Disney theme park.
I know. I almost screen grabbed my app where it says, you go to the page and it goes, there are no virtual queues for you to join. I almost screen grabbed it and sent it over to Tony.
Well, unless he goes to Disneyland, and then there is still a virtual queue. But
that's
Same.
Yeah.
world of color is not
Not the
truly a virtual.
same.
yeah, no,
And that
because you
it's
can
not the
do the
only way.
walk-up.
Yeah, it's not the only way you can experience it, which is
Yeah.
the huge difference. Okay, and then finally, while Food and Wine gets underway at Disneyland, Flower and Garden is getting underway at Walt Disney World. It starts on March 5th, which is just 2 days away, goes through June 2nd. But shockingly, Jeremiah, they don't just put those topiaries in all overnight, do they?
No, and surprisingly, the Moana, which the entrance topiary, I don't recall it ever being out before opening day. Usually everything will be out, and then the transition from the night before to opening day, you show up and there's the brand new topiary. I went there this morning, and the Moana 2 entrance topiary is up. And I had the photos just before the Disney Parks blog put up a cute video of the entire area. Moana's oar lights up, Maui's hook lights up. You can kind of see, I tweeted out the video of Moana, and you can kind of see it during the day, but I couldn't see anything with Maui. But yeah, I would say, I was talking with Luke, who will be there on Wednesday. Look at the detail
I
of that,
love
though.
that.
Yeah, it is
Oh,
amazing.
sorry.
Yeah, most of the topiaries were missing, like the Inside Out 2 gardens, and I think the Dragon topiary may still be coming, but I would say 95% of the topiaries are out. So today I walked the park and saw just about everything that will be seen in 2 days, with the exception of all the food.
So just show you a few more of the topiaries. There's Figment there.
Yay!
Loves Spring. He looks good in front of the Spaceship Earth there.
Yeah.
And the
Can you go back once? Sorry.
Sure. Yeah.
The Mickey in the distance, can you zoom in a little bit on him?
Let's see.
Because I'm just so confused on what he's
By
doing.
the fact he's carrying a kite and a racket.
Yeah.
It's a new game.
What
When
the
I took
heck?
this photo, I didn't notice it, but when I was walking later, I was just like,
Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not a racket. Maybe it is an electric fly swatter.
he's going
No.
after minis. Yeah.
Have you heard of such? Have you heard? When we were at the dollar store yesterday, they had these things that looked like tennis rackets that were bug zappers.
Yes.
It's like you've heard of such a thing?
Yes.
It looks like it's turning into some sort of sadistic game.
Isn't it just the smacker?
No.
No,
It's like,
no.
remember those things that you would have out on a porch and they fly into it? Zzz. Yeah. Okay. So now they have it available as just like a racket. You just do that and you zap them.
It's like you just run around like you're trying to hit a tennis ball, except you're eliminating a life from existence.
As somebody who, when a mosquito bites me, is down for a few days.
I mean, I'm okay
How do
with
you
it.
not know?
I feel a little guilty about it. I feel a little sad about it. I'll still do it.
But yeah, see Geo going, yep, we sell those zappers.
So,
By the way, you should look up the hairdryer hack when it comes to mosquito bites. That's my favorite. That's the one I learned when I lived in Orlando. And
I won't go into the mosquito talk right now. We've already done the ND talk.
that was what helped me. Oh, this is nice with Star and is it Valentino? Is that his
Yes.
name?
yeah, that sounds right.
We'll go-
And Asha, this was the entrance last year, and now it's over near the land. The next one is, of course, Lion King, but we don't have Pumbaa and Timon this year anywhere around. They have those right on the other side of Communicore Hall, and then just down a little bit from them are Woody and Bo Peep.
No,
Wow, it's like I knew these photos or something.
that's cool.
All good. And for annual pass holders, they've got some merchandise for you. They've got a mug, gloves. Is that no? They don't actually sell the gloves, do they?
They have in the past. They've sold different gloves. So, but it is very much you don't know until the day. I mean, I was looking at some of my older photos, and they sold the Figment statue for your garden for a couple of years, and they sold some amazing merchandise. I think Flower and Garden has the widest range of merchandise because they actually want you to garden with some of these things.
Mm-hmm.
So they said they're going to have, for this is for annual pass holders specifically, T-shirts, the baseball cap, mug, trading pin, and magnet. These are available during the festival at the Creation Shop and Festival Market location. So there you
Yeah.
go.
And there will be tons and tons of not only merchandise, but outdoor kitchens, I think is what they call them during this one. I can never remember what the title of the food booths are. But it starts Wednesday, goes through June
Second.
second. So close. But it's always a fun event, and this event, because it now goes for so long, it actually changes midway through. When it goes from spring to summer, they change out not the full topiaries, but the planters and some of the foods at the outdoor kitchens completely change too.
Good tip. Oh, keeps Jeremiah busy. Okay, moving back to the other coast, Mike Celestino. I don't think you've seen this for yourself yet, but you can still talk about it.
The red car trolley has ceased operation at Disney California Adventure, but you can still take your photo with one of the cars, one of the trolleys. It's out in front of the station there on Buena Vista Street, and some of the storefronts are undergoing some refresh with construction walls and scaffolding around them currently. I believe the Carthay Circle restaurant is also getting some work done.
It is. That was at the beginning. Wow, that's a lot of walls around there. There's Carthay Circle showing. And then, as we previously discussed, Indiana Jones celebrating 30 years. Do you remember your first ride or an early ride of yours on Indiana Jones, Mike, and your reaction to it?
Well, I just remember, so I was a subscriber to Star Wars Insider magazine when I was a teenager.
Who wasn't?
And and they talked about the Indiana Jones ride in the magazine when it opened in '95, and I just couldn't wait to go on it. And I didn't have the opportunity until a couple of years later. I think summer of '97, I went out to Disneyland for the first time. But that 2-year wait just felt like it was forever. And now it's 30 years later, and I've been on it many, many, many times. But I don't know if I recall the very, very first. It might have been with my grandmother. I don't know if she went on it or if I went by myself. Or what,
Come on, Grandma. I hear it's pretty tame.
Yeah.
She's the skeleton from the pre-show video.
Right.
This was when I first discovered that there was an annual pass holder community. It was the summer of '95, and I ended up befriending a gal who was battling some rather serious health issues, and she used a wheelchair. And this is when I discovered the idea that you could be in a wheelchair and your party of 4 people could bypass queues. And so we'd be sitting somewhere chatting, and she'd go, "Hey, let's go to Indiana Jones." And we'd travel with her over to Indiana Jones and bypass the queue. I was like, whoa, what's this? This is amazing. So
this is the summer. Go ahead, Mike.
I should have hunted down that issue of Star Wars Insider where they talked about the ride, because that would have been cool to I have it. It's in a box somewhere, but
if you find it,
I need to find that issue.
That's worth talking. That's worth doing a piece on with some pictures and stuff. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I remember that summer of '95 is when I became a Disneyland fan and started going. But
love them churros.
I was not
love them churros.
I was not going to stand in line for that ride. So I remember finally of the 4th of July, and it was probably the 5th of July because it was late after midnight. And finally, I'm like, okay, I can go do a half hour or whatever, wait for this stupid ride. And honestly, I was impressed by it, but it wasn't my thing. Kind of like Pirates, it has grown on me a lot more since then. But I do remember that first ride being, yeah, it's fine.
I'm a little bit claustrophobic. So after I did that initial wait for the ride, I didn't want to wait in the line. That I wouldn't go ride it very much. So when Katrina invited me to join her that time, I was like, oh, okay. And by the way, I don't want people to get the wrong idea. I wasn't doing that all the time. That was just that happened like once or twice. I was like, wow, it was just
Hey, Katrina.
It was just not something I realized was available to someone like her, and I kind of wondered what a day at Disney was like for her.
Yeah. I mean, for those of us who remember Katrina, she I don't know what the right word is. She needed the opportunity. That was the only way she was ever going to ride that ride. She was not. You know what I mean? I'll leave it.
Yeah, no, you leave it. Yeah. But that was the beginning of the 40 years of adventure. Yes. And everything. And so, come summertime when Disneyland's birthday rolled around on the 17th, that was when Indiana Jones himself slid down from the Matterhorn past the castle.
Yep.
It was the summer of Indiana Jones.
and who sang from the top of the Matterhorn? Do you remember?
Randy Travis. How would I?
Travis.
Were
you there that day?
I missed the castle burial that morning, but I was there for the happy birthday. I still have the hats. I had some.
Where were you standing when Randy was singing? Where were you standing?
I was in the hub, closer to Adventureland entrance.
Okay, you were closer to Tomorrowland, right?
I was closer to Tomorrowland with the Rad P group. I can't believe you weren't with the Rad P group, Jeremiah.
I wasn't part of Rad P.
And we were all in the hub, but in 3 separate dynamics. I was hanging out with my family, so I was right by the partner statue, but towards the Tomorrowland side. Doobie was up closer, as I recall from his photos with Rad P. And it sounds like Jeremiah. We should all pull out our photos someday.
I was like, wait, I can
compare
find
our images and see just how close we all were to each other in the hub, but we didn't encounter each other back then.
And Mike was in New Jersey, right?
Yeah. Question: do either of you remember the ice drop-in?
Oh yeah. The handful of times it worked for sure.
No, I have no memory of it. I remember lots of cake that birthday though that summer.
No, the ice machine effect was really great, and I'm sad that they just got rid of it. It was effective. It never worked. The problem was not that it wasn't effective; it was that it didn't work.
Yeah, it wasn't because it was just an ice machine that they shoved up there.
Yeah,
and it broke very quickly, and it didn't get removed until less than a decade ago or so from the building. That and the rat projections were the 2 things that I remember never working. If you heard the rat projection was working, you waited in that line.
I remember that. I remember that the heads up that the rat projection was working. Yep.
Which was also a great effect. If you want to feel old, we're just 10 years away from opening that time capsule.
I know, it's amazing to me. They buried it, for those of you who don't know, in the summer of '95, they buried a time capsule. It was not a capsule, a castle.
Castle.
Right there at the right by Sleeping Beauty Castle there, and declared when it would be retrieved. And
you can go see. I mean, they have a plaque right where it's buried, so you can go see it anytime.
The voice of Pocahontas was there that day, as I recall. Nope, yeah, there it is. And it says it will be opened in 2035, which back then seemed like so far away.
Oh my goodness.
So far away.
And yikes. All right, let's get back to the news a little bit. Blizzard. Oh, Jeremiah's ready. Hold that tight. Oh my goodness.
Look at the trees in the hub.
You need to send me that picture because I swear I must be in that picture.
I forgot they had the birthday hat.
Yeah.
Oh, I still have one of my birthday hats from that day. Poor Mike.
So this was one of the neatest things was on the back of the chalk wait time board. They did what the wait times would have been for the attractions on July 17th, 1955.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, that is cool.
And then there you go. They put.
It's so funny. We're just sharing our phones today.
Yeah.
Sorry. We're being direct.
We're months away. Yeah.
We need to do a show on what it was like to visit Disneyland in the 90s. Because it was a different experience than it is today. That is for darn sure. The chalk wait time boards. Okay. Blizzard Beach, speaking of getting old, is celebrating 30 years, Jeremiah?
30 years. Yep, they are going to do a celebration. It's just going to be fun in the park. Isn't this? No, this was the media picture. I was like, this wasn't your picture, Rebecca, because you went for when they revealed those.
Yeah, no, this is a media picture. You just pulled up.
So yeah,
they're going to have,
which will also have some
it's
fun.
Reopening.
Yeah.
It's reopening May 1st, so that's why it's
May
in here.
1st. Yes. April 1st is the kickoff of the Blizzard Beach 30th celebration, where they'll have characters. Mickey and Minnie are going to be out in their swim trunks, which I can't wait to see those because you hardly ever see them. They're going to have new floaties in the river. They're going to have snacks, dance parties. It will be an all-around good time to be out there, and it'll be fun on a rainy day.
And tattoos. Don't forget tattoos.
Yes, the snowflake tattoos, which I feel like I'm going to have to get. Yes.
You are. I want you to get a snowflake tattoo, and then go over to Typhoon Lagoon and do some surfing.
By the way, Nikki B, I want to put in a plug for our friend Jason and his archive, the Parkendium. This is specifically Disneyland assets. Jason is an archivist, and he has partnered with this particular website to offer an online archive of Disneyland photos. So if you put parkendium.com into your browser, you can end up here and you can share your photos with that archive. And then he actually goes through and tags all sorts of things. So you can type in like 1980s trash cans, and then all of a sudden all these images of the Disneyland in the 80s will appear, and with the trash cans or things like that. So it's a tremendous resource, and he'll watermark it if you want with your name. Like for our sites that we gave from our pictures from Laughing Place, they'll all say Laughing Place on them. But if you want them to have a watermark on it so that you receive credit, you can let him know however you would want that to appear. And they'll be tagged that way within the archive. If you're not interested in that, you don't have to, but I really recommend it. Parkendium.com. Like I say, Jason Schultz, legit studied archivist, and a tremendous asset when it comes to Disneyland history.
Okay, back to Disney World for a bit, and the Mardi Gras is going to have Port Orleans, French Quarter, will have a Mardi Gras parade tomorrow. Luke got to get a preview of that. Have you ever gone to see this, Jeremiah?
I did last year. The Pargo Parade, which is just cast members from Port Orleans, Riverside, and French Quarter go through and just decorate different golf carts. I call them golf carts still. And it's always so much fun. And a band comes out, they walk the entire walkway along the Sassaluga River. Is that the right way to say it, Rebecca?
Sure.
And it's lots of fun. And then they'll park the golf carts at French Quarter right there, so you can go and check them out if you want to. And they have stilt walkers, they have beads, they have all sorts of music, because tomorrow is Fat Tuesday.
Every day is Fat Tuesday around here. All right, Mike Celestino, is this you come March 28th?
Sadly, I cannot do that, but I will be there, I believe.
So this is the return of the Boysenberry Festival to Knott's Berry Farm, March 28th through March 7th. Can you tell us a little bit about what that is, Mike?
Yeah, so the Knott's family is famous for helping to cultivate the boysenberry back, over a century ago now, I believe. And every spring for the last decade at Knott's Berry Farm, they've done the Boysenberry Festival, which is really a lot of fun. They have a ton of boysenberry inspired or boysenberry flavored food offerings, food and beverage. There's again a lot of entertainment and the usual great rides and stuff that you'll find at Knott's.
I like just Gio's comment. Is that really a contest, or did the child just fall asleep?
Right? That's what it reminded me of. I have a picture of my brother like that in a bowl of mashed potatoes at Plaza Inn.
Gross.
Don't you have a picture of Doobie at that doing at Spaghetti?
Also on the West Coast, the guided tour of the railroad is returning. The railroad has been down since January. It comes back on March 7th, and then come March 21st, you'll once again be able to take the guided tour, which, Rebecca, I believe you have some experience here.
I did. It's a wonderful way to learn a little bit more about Walt's love of the railroad. You'll have to check when it returns and see what kind of offerings that it has with it, because I know they kind of adapt these and adjust these from time to time. But when I took it, you started off with like a light breakfast snack and beverage, and then it was a walking tour for a bit, and then we boarded the Lily Bell and got to ride around in it and learn a little bit more about the history. Our particular route, we ended up being able to travel through the Grand Canyon and primeval world within the Lily Bell, and so that was really beautiful. They gave us what? I'm sorry.
Did yours include the roundhouse?
Okay, well, I mean, in that you could stand by the Small World gate and look at the roundhouse. So
Okay,
Here we could go to the roundhouse.
yeah. So
I'm
they
guessing
did
that's the same here because they call it get an up close look at the roundhouse. So they don't call it a tour or anything.
right.
So.
No, that yeah. The language said get a look at the roundhouse. And I was anticipating entering the roundhouse, but rather it was just kind of stand by the Small World gate, gaze over at the roundhouse, and hear about its operations. For me, in many ways, the highlight was the takeaway, and that was they gave us a beautiful recreation of that railroad map that is hanging in the Main Street station. So yeah, no, I was pretty excited about the receipt of that. I see Doobie pulling it up behind the scenes. So there you go. So yeah, but great tour. I like the way that the tours now, you have a little earpiece. So you don't have to stay like you don't have to feel like you're totally crowding the host so that you can hear them, and they don't have to feel like they're broadcasting what's going on to like everybody around you. They can speak at normal levels, and everybody can hear them themselves, and you can adjust the volume. The other tour I took, by the way, that had it was about the gardening. It actually had like musical score from time to time to kind of accentuate the tour. You have things like All in a Golden Afternoon play and stuff like that. So it looks like it's nice to see that program kind of evolve over the years.
We have to take a detour back to the Boysenberry Festival here.
This was me 2 years ago. And I did not win, but I had boysenberries in my nose.
I'm sure.
Like it was this was one of my dreams, and when I actually got to do this, because they do a lottery for it.
Kyle, you need to do something with this. I don't know what, but this has to be something. Yeah, that's a great question. It's going to be a Stand By Me situation.
Well, the best part was like they offered you if you want to take home the rest of your pie.
Oh,
I was like, no.
Was it yummy? Do you remember enjoying it?
Yes, I do. I love boysenberry, and this, like I said, this was one of my dreams, and to do this, I was so happy. And this wasn't media; I was just in the park on my own. So it's not eating the boysenberry; it's clearing the plate. So that's why I'm mostly just pushing it around. But the person who
You get canceled for that now.
But you gotta pause it so we get a nice good look. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the person who won it was one of the kids next to me, and it was more because their face could fit fully in the plate, and they were just pig slopping it out.
Jeremiah.
Did it stain your face?
No, but like I said, I was smelling boysenberries. There were definitely I was finding boysenberries behind my ear.
Like magic glitter.
Oh dear God. I look like Wilson from Castaway right there.
Hey, that's what Alexa said. Yep. Alexa called it.
All right. I mean,
That needs to be your new profile photo because
Yes.
nothing says I'm a professional. Like
I don't even remember if I have actual photos of that.
oh, so good.
I gotta share this with everyone. Anyone on our team not watching, gotta put that in random for everybody.
Oh,
All
I
right.
knew when I sent it to
Gio
you, I was
said-
like, I'm gonna regret this, but I
Gio
had
asked me if you're
to.
gonna try out for the Darth Maul. Darth Maul. There you go. There's another reference.
All right, a couple other really quick items. Starbucks over at West Side. I think that's the original Starbucks at Disney Springs. It's down for a multi-month refurbishment, so I know that's going to hurt a lot of people.
I told that to people, and they were very upset about that.
I mean, that's a big deal to a lot of people. Yeah. There is another one on the other side, but it's
not the same.
Not
yeah,
the
you don't
same.
get to sit there, and
Nope.
I've sat out on the back patio many a time and worked.
I'm wondering if they'll expand that a little bit. Wouldn't that be nice if it became kind of like a 2-story dynamic there? That would be not a bad thing.
Run Disney has unveiled their themes for next year's Walt Disney World Marathon weekend, January 8th through 11th, 5K, 10K, half, and full. You get a look at all of those.
So cute.
Yeah. And of course, you got to be goofy and dopey. Go all the way. Registration for those opens for the Gold and Platinums tomorrow, and for everybody else on March 11th. If you've always been interested in a VIP tour, but like it's just 20% too much. Well, if you stay at club level room or club level suite at Walt Disney World on select dates between April 28th and September 27th, you can take that VIP tour at a 20% discount. So now it's in your price range. They're actually are not as expensive as you might think if you've never looked into them, especially if you have a big group. It's a pretty effective way to visit the parks. And you might be able to skip an entire another day because of all the stuff you can get done on the VIP tour. So at least look into it. Our friends at Mouse Fan Travel have a lot of experience helping people out determine if it might be a good idea for them. So consider it. MouseFanTravel.com can help you out. Consider doing a VIP tour and save some money if you do it while staying club level. Internationally, this is one of the cutest things ever. I was not able to do Parks Talk, the morning show this morning, but I kind of wish I was because these are just so cute, Rebecca.
Well, yeah, I mean, over in Tokyo, select location for an undetermined amount of time has this delightful Minnie Mouse soap dispense. Poof. That's what I call it. Poof.
It is so cute.
Yeah.
And then also in Tokyo, Jeremiah, I know you're our world. Wait, I'm sorry. Have you been to Tokyo, Jeremiah?
I have been to Tokyo, and I was lucky enough to win the lottery to go see the big band beat, and it was amazing. And you will have to scour to try to find a video because one of the things in Japan, they are very strict about no video, and
Wow.
that show is one of those ones that if they released it, they should put it up on Disney Plus. It's so good.
Wow, that's good. Well, they're closing it on September 30th, but they are celebrating it up until then with just big celebration event. So I'm glad you gave it such high praise. Now it is on our list as we will be traveling there in the not too distant future.
But you do have to win the lottery to see it. Like that's over there. They do lottery for shows.
While you were looking for that footage, Doobie, we were all being very very distracted. Check out
I'm trying to find photos of my boysenberry face.
Wow.
So bad.
Oh, here's the selfie that I took.
Oh, nice.
That's adorable. You look cute enough to eat, Jeremiah.
I have way too many notification icons, I might add. Look at that.
Here's an even better one. That is the nightmare right there.
Oh, lovely.
And in Paris, some merchandise items. They have given a first look inside the Disney Style and Disney Glamour. Those are two new shops coming to their Disney Marketplace, which is Disney Village, which is under a major refurbishment.
Yeah.
Still going on. We were there in April, and it was mostly behind walls, and it's still mostly behind walls. But they are showing off some of the stuff that's coming there with those two new shops, and also giving a first look at the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror shop that's going to be replacing the Fast Pass distribution area in that near that attraction in the Studios Park, which will open by the end of the year. Yes, Jeremiah.
That whole area, I don't quite understand, because the Tower of Terror is just like the Tower of Terror and Guardians at DCA. So you exit into a pretty major shop. So turning that small area into a shop doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And I'm guessing it may be for like the Alice show, because you walk that way to the Return to Wonderland show that they have and some of the alternating things. But I saw that also, and it very much hurt my head.
And finally, I just want to mention Epic Universe. I know that they have started some sort of previews. Are people in those previews allowed to talk about it? Are there pictures out there? Okay. So I will not ask anything about that.
Yeah, it's team members, and I know multiples who are good friends of mine, and they are doing their best to hold on to that information.
I'm happy to hear that. I am not asking any questions about it, but Universal is now revving up their hype machine. They've got a new video they just put up to get people hyped about Epic Universe and beyond, hyping their 4 theme parks. And no, you are able to count, but they count Volcano Bay as a theme park. So you'll check out that video and get hyped for Epic Universe. Jeremiah, are you hyped for Epic Universe?
I am. I actually wrote an article the other day about the top 5 things that I'm looking forward to about Epic. Spoiler, Dark Universe is number 1 and everything in there. But they also in that video talk about how their attractions already planned, including new stuff for Epic Universe that's not even open yet.
Oh, good. Yeah, I read your article. We talked about it on the morning show. It was pretty good. Someone else wrote an article in prep for Epic Universe. They counted down the top attractions at Universal in Central Florida so they can revamp it once the Epic Universe opens. And they had Fast and the Furious higher than E.T. Would you agree with that, Jeremiah?
No, Fast and the Furious is the second worst attraction in all of Universal Studios or Universal Orlando Resort. Number 1 being Jimmy Fallon.
They had that pretty high too, but I agreed with that one. Mike, as someone who has to visit Universal Southern California on a regular basis, how bummed are you that they're going to be closing the Fast and the Furious portion of the tram tour?
I covered the opening of that as one of the first events I ever worked for, the previous website I worked for. And yeah, we're getting to that point in my theme park journalism career where stuff that I covered the opening of is closing down to make room for other stuff. I won't miss it at all.
I know you said you weren't going to ask about the Epic, but I did talk to team members because I worked at Universal Hollywood and friends that still work out there. And the words, "we are having a party," was used to talk about the announcement of that closing. So,
all right.
I do love the ET attraction. Also.
Since we've got just a few minutes and we're kind of done. So I'm just going to there was Jim Smith who wrote that article, and everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But I'm just going to bring that up here. See if anyone, just give a shout out if anything catches you. It's good. That's a good one. Or this guy's crazy. Transformers is 15. ET is 14. Skull Island. Jimmy Fallon. Hogwarts Express.
What?
Spider-Man is 10.
Nope.
Jurassic Park River Adventure. Rip Ride Rocket is 8.
Oh.
Green Goblin is 7.
Oh my.
Okay, maybe this is like alphabetical order. Is this alphabetical?
No, it's the countdown. Revenge of the Mummy is 5th.
Okay, not bad.
Bourne is 4th.
Yes.
Forbidden Journey, Velocicoaster, and Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. Some disagreements there, Jeremiah?
I would go Velocicoaster, probably out of those is the top. Hagrid's is definitely good, but I don't know Jim, but that list looks much more like he is not a thrill park or thrill attraction person, the way he kind of ranked everything. But yeah, having Jimmy Fallon anywhere on a list of the best attractions And I will say that if Jimmy Fallon walked up to me, I would say your attraction is not good.
And then you would tell him to go have himself a tramtastic day.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Jimmy Fallon, by the way. And yes, that is what was the ice tunnel. We were trying to think of everything that location has been, Jeremiah. You're our universal history expert. Mike, I know you've been there over the years. What else has it been in that location?
So it was the ice tunnel, then it was Dante's Peak, and then Mummy, and then it went back to the ice tunnel, and then it closed.
So the $6 million man thing, that was just the ice tunnel?
Yes.
Okay.
And when he'd run through, he would often fall because he couldn't make it through.
I've heard that somewhere before.
When I worked there, we did the Mummy changeover from Dante's Peak, and that was one of the things I actually had to drive our car into to test every day. So I can say that I've driven through there and never ran off the rails.
Is it a difficult thing for the driver at all?
No. All you have to do is look down at the bottom of the door. And then when it changed to the ice tunnel at the end, they had these weird projections, and like the force perspective was so off. Like if you were close to the front and you looked, you'd just be like, this doesn't do anything for me.
What's if you can only pick one? What is from the run of the tram that isn't there anymore? What would you bring back? Pick one.
Battlestar Galactica.
Mike, same
Oh,
thing.
for me, it would be OG.
What did he say?
As featured in the
OG
movie
Kong.
The Wizard.
Oh.
Kong is amazing, but Battlestar Galactica, you never got to experience that, Mike. So that was one of those, like, as
What
a kid,
years
the
were
coolest
that?
thing.
Was that there?
It was gone prior. That's the spot where Back to the Future was built. So that would have been early 90s was when it was probably gone.
Feels like it, yeah.
What would you pick, Rebecca?
It's so tough for me, but I would also say Battlestar Galactica. It was like the height of the cheesy but amazing. There was lasers, there was animatronics that would break into half.
Yeah.
There were two actors would come running out for no good reason. You just had real people come running in.
Spectacular.
It was the best.
I truly loved it. I would want to pick that. I would want to pick the special effects stuff, but I think I would pick the stop in the middle. I love to get off. I love when we took the tour early enough. I love when we took the tour early enough to get off and we could hang there and be with the giant props, and lift stuff, and realize I still have more tour to go. It was just such a happy
I've never
time.
seen this commercial.
This is a commercial. I was gonna say this is the attraction. That's a commercial.
Yes, this is a commercial for the tram tour back in the day.
Yeah.
From, give proper credit, Gold Cylon. Gold Cylon.
Excellent name.
Yes.
That is.
They could have redone it with the latest Battlestar Galactica, but I mean, I guess having what's her name as a Cylon wouldn't be the same thing as the cool robot Cylons. Oh, is this the full show?
It looks like it's pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, wait. Oh,
yes.
Oh, the memories. You know, the tram tour was underway.
Audio for this? Because this audio is one of my favorites.
Good times by your command.
This
is also Gold Cylon, by the way. Although it's from byyourcommand.net with all kinds of angles. This must have been an official video that they did. Rebecca showing off her Buck Rogers case there for her DVDs.
Buck Rogers.
Good thing you're muted. You're probably cursing me out right now.
You are sleeping on the couch.
All right, wait, let's get some audio back.
And you are now under mine. You will be vaporized in 30 seconds. Centurion, activate the death beams.
These things are horrifying. For those of you, I'm going to talk over a little bit.
Okay.
For those of you who don't know, these are creatures are featured in one of the episodes
Oh,
where
wow.
they visit this planet, and it seems like it's this wonderful planet where they keep giving you keep winning when you're playing cards, and you have all this food and yada yada, and it's because they're fattening you up to feed you to their young.
Oh, well, they stole that.
Like, so good. Come on.
They stole that from The Simpsons.
There you go. Check it out.
And they
Simpsons
stole it from the
did it.
Twilight Zone.
Debut.
Oh man, my
Everybody
hero.
has lasers coming out of the weaponry except the live
Yeah.
actors.
Oh,
They
And
I was
there's
like
a-
in half. Yeah.
so good.
So I want to see if they show my favorite, which became a joke. One of the aliens is in the back, and he's sitting there, and he wasn't doing anything. So they ended up putting a paper in his hand, so it looked like he was in the restroom reading the paper.
Oh
Hi.
man, this was great.
Hi, Linda. We're wrapping up. We've been talking about Disney parks, but we got all nostalgic for Battlestar
Mostly
Galactica
about
over
Indy
at
and Battlestar
Universal.
Galactica.
We're talking about the 90s. This closed in 92.
So when you came out of there was a rail to the left of the tram that was to make sure the tram knew where it was going. And that railing was still there up until they started working on the stuff for Fast and Furious. So you would
The
that one
coaster or
piece.
the?
No, it was just a rail.
No. I mean, when you said Fast and Furious, do you mean
Oh
the?
no, the coaster.
current
Yeah,
or the
because
coaster?
the underneath of Back to the Future, which is in that space, was the tech area for the mechanics, and they just kept that one piece there. I will look and see if that piece is still around in a few days.
Cool.
Nerds.
Whoa. That's our show. Anyone else got anything they want to say before we close out?
Anything you want to hype you got working on, Mike?
Tomorrow, 90s night.
Oh, nice. So yeah,
Hey.
check out. I'm sure Mike will be live tweeting, so we'll be live blogging that on Laughing Place. Definitely check that out. Exciting. I didn't know that was coming already.
How about you, Jeremiah?
Tomorrow, 90s night.
Are you really?
Right. You're
I will be
traveling
there.
man.
Yes, I'm going out for a vacation. But I'm looking forward. They have some fun characters that are returning for 90s night. I'm looking forward to that. The food isn't so much a retro feel, like it's all just a new menu, but the tribute to the parade of the 90s is what I'm really going out for, because they're going to have light magic. That's all that mattered in the 90s.
Oh.
What are you wearing, Mike?
Oh, good question. I gotta hunt through my shirts and see what's the most 90s.
Okay.
I guess.
Want to see, make sure you put a selfie up there. All right, folks, we're done with the show for today. Thanks for joining us. We will be back next Monday, as far as I know. And I will be back tomorrow morning for the Disney Morning Show. Rewind about 30 minutes if you'd like to see some great pictures of Jeremiah. Otherwise, we will catch you next time.
World
Party
according
Draw.
to Goofy, man. That's
Yeah.
the way to go.
Lion King Celebration. Bye, all.
Lion King Celebration.
No, World according to Goofy.